Just when I thought I was back on track, I fall behind again because I'm so distracted. Ooh, how do you like it? I'm so distracted. How do you like it? How do you like it? Ooh. How do you like it? How do you like it? All right, so let's see. First, we gotta get this again. Freaking A. Share to everything. Turn. There is a season. Turn. To everyone. To FCs under heaven. It's time to be. I better redo this Indiegogo link because it looks all truncated. You gotta be real careful about this so that everyone gets the full length. One thing seems to be for sure, I don't seem to be. Let's see how this turns out. Alright, so I did carry over the link. Boom. Boom shakalaka. Boom. 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 I gotta keep myself organized. Instead of scrambling around like a chicken with my head cut off. Messages. Oops. Wait, wrong one. Hello. Boom. Oh, that's right, I have to get that. Boing, boing, boing. Oh, shoot. Ah! Dang it! Hey, Fade. Welcome back. Hello, viewers. We're going to discuss another book today. This time we're going to be joined by Brian Christgau. I'll double check on the pronunciation. I can't believe I messed up on the URL. I forgot to include the YouTube URL in all my advertisements. Shoot. Oh, shoot. What the heck? Oh, I see what I did. All right. So let's do it this way. I'll just add a thingamajigger. And and I'll do the same on the other social media platforms. Boom. Actually, direct link to YouTube stream. Boom. Boom shakalaka. Comment. Yes, I'm commenting on my own stuff. All right. Sweet. Again, welcome, Fade. Welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. We are going to be joined shortly by creator Brian Christgau. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Oh, shoot. Now I need the Indiegogo link again. Boom, 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 quack, quack, boom, 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 quack, quack. And I gotta get to here. Come hither. And we'll also, I gotta figure out what the heck I'm doing wrong with broadcasting to Facebook, because it just simply isn't working. I don't quite get it, Captain. Hey, baby, I like it like that. I like it like that. I like it like that. So, Six Gun Gorilla is another ComicsGate campaign on Indiegogo. And as you can see, the protagonist is a gorilla. Oh, hey. Hey, Brian, how's it going? Can you hear me?
What's up? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, sweet.
Rock and roll, man. My apologies for my tardiness.
Oh, man. You got nothing to apologize for. I'm cramming in 3 streams to showcase 3 different books in one night.
Oh, well, I salute you, man. Streamers like you that give a platform to indie creators like me. You're what this scene is all about. So I salute you, sir.
Oh man, I just love to do it. And I did a 3-hour stream with Martina Marcota for her Lady Alchemy. We just went into all kinds of discussion on her different projects.
Well, she's a lot easier on the eyes than I am. So.
I don't know. It depends on who you ask.
No, well, there you go.
to each their own, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Is your last name pronounced Christgau?
Bingo! You got it on the first try. I'm impressed.
All right. I just have been getting lucky. I was just discussing this other book, something Obsidian. Oh crap!
Don't worry about it.
And I got lucky and got his last name correct the first try too.
Rock and roll. And trust me, man, that's not easy. I get Christgau, Christgan, Christgau is always my favorite.
New, oh my gosh, how cool is
that? So I'm my. If I had a hat, it would be off to you right now.
Oh man, it's like who are GNU? Yeah, Ross Bamfield of Chateau Obsidian. We were just discussing his book.
Oh, I don't think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, I just got finished with the stream. I think it's maybe still processing on YouTube. I'm not sure. Oh, you know what? Did I even finish saving the changes? That reminds me. Thanks for the reminder. Let me just finish this little bit.
No worries, brother.
Get
I'm
saved.
all good.
I'm kind of like running on fumes because by the time I ended that other stream last night,
Yeah.
it was a matter of, okay, I've got to go into work on my regular job at 7 a.m. It's already past 1 o'clock.
Oh.
Do I stay up all night, or do I try and squeeze in a couple hours of sleep? Problem is, if I try and squeeze in a couple hours of sleep, I have a tendency to be a heavy sleeper, so I might sleep through every one of my alarms and be late.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
So as it turns out, I stayed up all night, but I'm running on fumes and coffee. Ha ha ha!
Oh,
All right.
dude. Got to take care of yourself, brother.
Yeah, but I
I admire your dedication, though.
well, I do in a way take care of myself because I've been on for some time on the seafood diet. I seafood and I eat it. Oh my gosh!
Kazing! You got a million of them. Is this thing on?
Oh my gosh! Yeah, oh man, I heard about this campaign a while back. Six Gun Gorilla, the big gun down. And I noticed on Indiegogo, I guess he had a couple other launches. I don't know what happened, but
They failed miserably.
was it? Oh, go ahead.
I'm one of those people that's had like 2 or 3 first campaigns, if you know what I'm saying. You know, like you have like a lot of novelists. You'd be surprised how many first novels they've written. I didn't know what I was doing, and this is before ComicsGate. This is before the before there was this network of indie creators, wonderful people that's out there right now, that's happy to help people along with their campaigns. And I just did not know what I was doing, and I did everything wrong. And then finally, I did something right, and the first campaign was a success. And this campaign has been a even bigger success. And I don't say that to boast. That's my gratitude to the backers and also to the community. Everybody who helped me along the way, and that's a lot of people. My friend Drew Ish, for instance, he taught me my YouTube game. Ethan Van Sciver and Cecil both gave my book the big thumbs up. That also helped. Tug also endorsed my book. That's definitely been a boon. All the different channels that have had me on. My Greater Point 5 peeps who are killing it right now with Peregrine.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't want to start naming names, because once I start, I could go on a very long tear, and then I know I'm going to forget somebody, and then I'm worried about hurting that person's fifis. But yeah, no, it's just been fantastic, and the first campaigns were I made like rookie mistake after rookie mistake.
Was it a matter of like you accidentally clicked the wrong button in the campaign and then it prematurely ended it?
No, I set the whole thing up wrong. I set my goal too high. I didn't really have like an online presence. That's to say, like a social media presence.
Okay.
Which unfortunately, is absolutely essential if you're going to do this thing. At the same time, now there is such a network of wonderful streamers like yourself that will have folks like myself and other folks on, and once we get people into the community and they could circulate, it's much easier right now for them to promote their books than it was when, for instance, I first came in. And that's one of the things that people like my friend Drew Ish and myself are all about also is, this is a community that's very pay it forward oriented. And, the mainstream, of course, they're the gatekeepers. We're the anti-gatekeepers. We've stepped around the gate, right? We stepped around that MFer, and we're also holding the door open for people that are coming in after us.
Oh, sure.
And so when we have new creators that have awesome looking books, they don't know how to run an Indiegogo campaign. So, ourselves and other people are always happy to answer questions, always happy to give advice. And, the new creators have a lot to learn from our successes, but they especially have a lot to learn from our screw ups, from our mistakes. And so we can always tell them what not to do. And if you look at my first 2 campaigns, they're textbooks in what not to do.
Yeah, everything is a learning opportunity.
Absolutely.
And you just got to basically look at it from that perspective.
Oh, yeah. Like my friend Preston Acevedo, for instance, who's doing a wonderful book called Rockabilly Road Trip. And right now is still running a campaign for Doc Salem. Everybody go check that out. He set his goal too high, and he had like really bad timing. And the next campaign now he's launched it, and he's doing great. Oh yeah, and almost he's almost ready to hit the 10K club. Gonna have to have a little party for him for sure.
Heck yeah.
He's a wonderful guy. He's going to be illustrating issue 8 of a Six Gun Gorilla, by the way.
Oh my gosh, cool.
Yeah.
Wait, all the interior art?
He's going to be doing the interior art, and he's also doing a painted canvas cover.
Oh damn! Oh, that's gonna be good.
Oh my god, his canvases are freaking gorgeous. Oh
man,
the Frazetta is strong with this lad. Let me tell you.
That's gonna be sweet.
It is. I can't wait to see it. It's also gonna be funny too because he was asking me like, what do you want? You want to bounce around some ideas? And I always believe that you want to give your artist as much latitude as possible. You want to make sure that they're happy with what they're drawing, or in this case, painting. And so he was like, you know what? Like somebody told me, I'm not going to name names here, but somebody in ComicsGate told him like, there's no way that you could do the Somewhere in Time cover from a old Iron Maiden single, and so it's going to be a parody cover of that.
Oh my gosh!
And it looks, I've seen like he sent me like the sketch, because before he paints, he sketches and sends it, to me and says like, does this look good? And yeah, that's gonna be out of this world without a doubt. Yeah. People are gonna love it.
I think I know what you might be talking about. Oh damn.
Yeah, I think I posted it, and I also the fellow, I'm blanking on his name. The fellow who did the inks also posted a link, and yeah, no, it's gonna be dynamite. I'm really excited.
Wow. So I was curious about this. All right, so you've got Six Gun Gorilla, the graphic novel, Six Gun Gorilla, the Big Gundown. Is the Big Gundown a sequel to Long Days of Vengeance? Because actually it says Long Days of Vengeance here.
Yeah. Let's see. We got the 2 failed campaigns and the 2 successful campaigns. Yeah. Six Gun Gorilla, Long Days of Vengeance, that was the previous campaign. That was for the trade paperback. Actually, I believe I have copies still right here. The joy of a wireless headset.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was for this.
All right. Oh, you know what? Hold on.
Which is a 148-page trade paperback.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. 148 pages.
Yeah. Basically, it's issues 1 through 6.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Oh damn.
It's beautiful. Full color interior.
Wow.
Gorgeous art.
Now, is it that easy to open up to any page and like open the book and without having to break it in much?
What you mean? Are you concerned about the binding, sir?
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
no, this is I work with Greco and Comics Wellspring, and there's a free plug for them. But you know what? They actually deserve it. They always do absolutely beautiful work. These are nice, sturdy trade paperbacks. You're not going to have to worry about the binding falling apart.
right.
Here, check
But
this out.
it's like
Look
it's
at that
like,
beautiful quality.
oh yeah. Yeah, it's
Nice.
like when you open up some paperback books, uh, they feel quite rigid initially, and you kind of have to flex it around. And,
Yeah.
uh,
This is you really don't have to do. You really don't have to do that with these. But yeah, so the first campaign was for this, and now the current campaign is for issue number 7, the Big Gundown. And now, naturally, I'm not going to sell issue number 7 without making issues 1 through 6 also available as part of the campaign. So here's the same trade paperback, issues 1 through 6, Long Days of Vengeance, with a brand spanking new cover by Kanan White.
Oh, yeah.
But you can see same interior.
All right.
Right? And the price for this is $35. Now, I feel terrible charging $35 for a comic book, but you're not getting one comic with this; you're getting 6.
Right.
And the Big Gundown is $15. But if you buy them together, I knock $5 off the price. And that's what's been selling like hotcakes. Is the combo. So you can get for $45. You get the complete 6-gun Gorilla Saga up to now, issues 1 through 7.
And everything is literally already completed and
Absolutely
produced and literally ready to ship immediately.
Absolutely. Well, I shouldn't say ready to ship immediately.
All right.
These have arrived en masse. I've got the boxes over here. This is the proof copy of the trade paperback, but they are on their way. And everybody who orders is also going to be getting a little sticker from a design by Mr. Mark Marianelli at 6 a.m. Comics.
Yeah, 6 a.m. Comics. Oh, man.
I love that dude.
I like his work.
Oh, he's fantastic. He's fantastic.
And he's pretty fast, too.
Oh, he's unbelievable.
He just, like, whips it out. And before you know it, he's already inked it. And
yeah.
He makes these great... what is it called? What is the term called? Chibi or chibi?
Well, you know what? We were discussing this because chibis are generally... here, hold on a sec. Yay for wireless. Here.
Promoting wireless.
Because I got some... Chibis are a Japanese thing, of course, also known as little big heads. So, for instance, these are like the Universal Monsters chibis. Right? Okay. There's the Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein monster, the whole unholy trinity.
All right.
I'm a big monster guy. But these, the ones that Mark did, they're not really technically chibis because they're sort of they're proportioned.
Okay. All right.
You know, well, I mean, or at least I should say their heads aren't out of proportion, but they're chibi-esque.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, he did one of all like the CG characters, and it looks like this massive like. I keep telling him like, dude, you got to make like a color form set or something.
Yeah, I saw the one you're talking about, and it's pretty impressive. It's
He also go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like majorly ADD. I have a habit of stepping on people's words sometimes, so forgive me for that. He also has a video game for the Apple Android called Starfetched, and that's the same Starfetched that he's working on as a comic right now.
I think wasn't that just shared on Twitter recently?
Think so.
Because I thought I saw a link about that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
I don't have Apple anything, so I'm pissed off. I'm like, I keep getting on his ass to like release a Steam version, but it's a legal thing. He's not going to be able to do that for a while.
It's well, it's compatible with iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV. It looks like.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I hadn't looked at it, but do you know off the top of your head if it's? Oh wait,
it's a side scroller.
It's part of Apple Arcade, so all you can play one subscription. I see. Okay, Crescent Moon Games, man. So this is based on his book.
It's like the same project. What's interesting is that it's sort of a love letter to his 6-year-old son. He's the inspiration for the lead character, but it's not for his son now. It's for his son when he's older.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
So like when his son is in his 20s or something, he'll be able to get little kids. It's like you could make them something really special, and they'd be like, like F you, I want my Transformers.
Yeah.
Right? But when you're grown up, you want that handmade thing more than anything.
Oh yeah.
For sure. Right?
Yeah.
And so, when it's for his son when he's in his 20s, he's going to be able to pick up that comic, and it's going to be a message from his father from the past saying like, this is how I felt about you.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh, that's
get you right in your fifis.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, I'm the same way. I've got family who have made things out of clay and fired it and painted it that I still have to this day. And it's it's got more meaning to it because they took the time and effort to out of their schedule, out of their lives to create it themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be epic.
Yeah. Mark's a real talent. I keep getting on his ass, like, dude, when you're launching your campaign? Yeah. And he's just like, oh, maybe in a couple of months, but he wants to be further along in the process.
That's pretty nice, though. I like that. Yeah. So Six Gun Gorilla, that was the trade paperback that had the first 6 issues.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was every issue, did it come out to be like 22 pages, 32 pages per issue?
The first issue is 22 pages. Every other issue after that is 24 pages.
Okay.
And that's the format that I work in now. And it's a format that I love working in. I'm someone who finds constraints very creatively inspiring. That when you're constrained in a certain way, it forces you to be more creative. And so I found myself removing whole scenes, really having to get ruthless with the editing. And it just made for a better comic. It's like I always have to ask myself with every scene, does this move the story along?
Right.
Now, it's okay to have scenes that don't, if they're, character scenes, for instance, something that gives you a better idea of the characters, and also maybe says something about the general theme of the work. But you want to keep the story moving, and especially when you're working with a really outrageous premise, like this. You
Right.
know, I told myself, well, clearly you're gonna have to keep this thing moving, and people are really happy with it. I've just been really, really blessed that the response has been overwhelmingly positive. Critics are really, really, really nice to me, and like everybody who reads it seems to love it. And I say that with a sense of gratitude and also surprise because when I made this thing, I knew that certain people were really going to dig it.
Yeah.
Right, the certain people were really going to dig it.
Right.
And that a lot of but there would be a certain portion of the audience, I was like, well, this isn't for everybody. Some people are going to be like, yeah, and and some people told me, yeah, I don't like westerns, that sort of thing. I'm like, yeah, but it's a western with a gorilla. It's give it a chance.
Right.
And it seems like everybody loves it. And once again, not boasting. That's me being like really, really, really grateful.
Sure. Yeah.
As an artist, you put your work out there. You don't know if people are going to feel as passionate about it as you do. You don't know if they're going to connect with it. But people are connecting with Six Gun Gorilla, and like I said, couldn't be more grateful.
Yeah, it's showing because of your backing. You got 14,645 USD by 341 backers.
Thank you, backers.
I kind of wish it would still continue giving the percentage on on screen, but once you go in demand, I guess they hide it.
Yeah.
A very big ape with very big guns blowing very big holes in very bad people. That's a great way to sum it up.
That's the elevator pitch.
Yeah, for sure. I love the lettering. Now, did you do
Thanks.
literally everything? Are you the story, the creator, the writer?
I did everything. I did the writing. I did the illustrating. I did the inking. I did the colors. I did the lettering. No, I'm full of shit. I'm just the writer.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and I could draw you like a mean stick figure. That's that's about it. Interior art is by Adrian Sibar, who lives in beautiful Buenos Aires, Argentina. So the wonders of the internet, you can collaborate with people from all around the world.
Wow. Yeah.
I was really impressed by his work on. He worked on Batgirl for DC,
Really?
and also Planet of the Apes for Dark Horse, and Star Wars for Dark Horse. And needless to say, when I saw his work on Planet of the Apes, I was like, man, this guy could draw the shit out of a gorilla. And that's out of all the artists that I was looking at, and I was looking at a lot. I posted an ad in Digital Webbing and gave the page rate, what I could afford to pay, and I got all these submissions, and I had it down to like 5, then I had it down to 2, and what finally got me to choose him was the fact that his work has a tremendous amount of heart in it. Because as much as this is like a rip-roaring adventure, pulp story to the core, it also has a heart. Right. And if you're showing up to see a 600-pound silverback blast holes in people with 6 guns the size of howitzer cannons, fighting in saloon brawls, showdowns at high noon, canyon chases, all that crap, you're going to get that, but you're also going to get something hopefully that you didn't expect. I'm gonna play with your fifis in a way that you didn't expect. Like,
oh, go ahead. You were saying?
No, I was just gonna say, like, one of the compliments that I keep hearing that really makes me happy. Ethan said this, Cecil said this, Mandy said this, a lot of people have said this. They all say it's not what you think it is. and that's their way of saying like, yeah, it's like deeper than you expect it to be, and that makes me really happy because that tells me that they got it, that I succeeded at what I was aiming for.
Sweet, very sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I'm about to spit a little heresy here because
Go right ahead, dude. It's your channel.
oddly enough, I don't know what it is. I tend not to be a big fan of monkeys or apes. Or
Okay.
but what drew me to the project is I love westerns. I love revolvers, stagecoaches. I like the whole western storytelling. I like the colors used. Oh, hello, welcome. It looks like we got someone from Twitch named Y.
What's up, Y?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, everybody in the chat.
Thanks so much for coming on. Definitely, if you have any questions, put it in chat, and we'll get them answered for you.
You can put the screws to me.
Exactly. So what's the topic, if you don't mind asking? Yeah, this channel is it's a mix of discussing pop culture with comics, movies, some TV, discussing franchises and how they're failing.
Boy, there's a lot of that these days, isn't there?
How everything is flushing down the toilet by Hollywood. But I align myself with two organic groups. ComicsGate, which is all about creating, delivering cute, beautiful
comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To a crowdfunding model. The other is the Phantom Menace, which is another organic movement, but it's a counter criticism of what Hollywood is spitting out and trying to crank out ad infinitum, and just pointing out the obvious flaws and telling them, back away from our beloved franchises that we grew up on and that we had an emotional connection with.
Yep. Because they're just been crapping all over them, and now it's coming back to bite them on the ass. But what the wonderful thing is? That creates the opportunity for indie guys like me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because, people are, it's like the old punk rock days where, the mainstream music sucked. So what did you have? You had the underground. You had the the DIY scene, and thank goodness right now the technology is at a place where indie creators like me can actually do this. And what really makes me excited is being on channels like this and seeing, live streamers, people like the Great 0.5 peeps, much love to them, looking at guys like me and going, wait a second, that guy doesn't seem too bright, and he's pulling this off. Why don't we give it a shot? And boom, they come correct and they knock it out of the park. And I'm not going to say anybody can do this. Obviously, you have to have a quality book. That's the most important thing. You have to have a quality product. And if you don't have that, you're probably going to be shit out of luck. But if you do have some skill, you have some talent, you do put a quality book together, you're going to be able to get it funded.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. So Y was asking, can I ask about anything?
Not my sex life.
Change the subject. I was just explaining, within reason. I don't want to go too far off the beaten path because
are we your monkeys here?
it's like, yeah, literally. It's I mean, I'm bad enough to an extent because I get sidetracked easily, and I have to rein myself in at times. I'm like one of those people who I kind of associate myself as being like an octopus. I've got all these little projects I want to work on simultaneously, but I have trouble focusing on any one project.
Do you have attention deficit disorder?
Possibly. Some family believe I do.
You should. I got diagnosed with it. 5 years ago, and I was pissed off because I already have like other issues, depression, anxiety, all that crap. All very treatable conditions. I've been in great shape for like the past 7 years, but one day my shrink was like, like, okay, wait a second, let me get the DSM-4. It was at the time, and because I'd been describing certain symptoms to her, and she was just like basically asking me questions, the ADD checklist, and it was just like check, 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 check. I was like, oh fuck. I felt like I'd been given something new, But then I looked back on my entire life, especially in my childhood, and I was like, oh my God, it explains everything.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I now have like a legal prescription for amphetamine.
Oh.
And yeah, no, I mean, when I got the prescription, it freaked me out because I looked at it, the bottle. She was like, oh, it's Adderall. I'm like, okay. I looked at the bottle. It said amphetamine. And I was like, what? Like speed? Are my eyes going to start bugging out? My teeth going to start falling out? Am I going to start digging holes in the backyard?
I thought you were about to say that it would, you start reading all the side effects and how bad so many of modern medicine's supposed cures for ailments have a buttload of side effects, and many of which include paralysis or death.
Well, I mean, I have a friend who got a prescription for it, and he had a horrible reaction to it. For me, it's worked great, and it's just a teeny tiny amount. It's not it's not a lot, and it helps me focus, and it helps me work. It helps me write comic book scripts.
Cool.
Yeah.
If it helps, awesome. Y is asking or commenting, I was watching a streamer earlier. We were talking about God, evolution, religion. I mean, those are awesome topics, but I don't envision discussing that kind of stuff on my channel per se. I might every now and again do a random stream and delve into such topics, but certain things like politics, religion, they tend to be hot topics, things that send everyone into a frenzy.
They can. Although it's interesting because this book actually, and Ethan was pointed this out, has a kind of religious subtext to it. And that's one of the things I've always loved about the Western, is that it's very primal. A lot of them feel very apocalyptic. And this is, oh God, I don't want to give anything away. Like I'm telling myself, don't drop any spoilers.
Yeah, definitely don't drop any spoilers.
But this is very much about vengeance. And, I have certain feelings about the concept of revenge and how destructive it can be.
Sure.
And it's this. Actually, I remember Ethan on a stream said like it's not what you think it is. It's about God. And I was like, yeah, in some ways, yeah. No, It's about that. Also, what it is to be human, what it is to be, what sentience is, what's intelligence, what is a soul? You know, do humans have souls? And if humans have souls, do animals have souls? All this, stuff. Not so much giving answers, providing answers as raising questions.
Right, right. What does it mean to be a gorilla in the Wild West?
Yes, that's been raised as a Christian.
Yeah.
That's been raised with the that's been raised as a Catholic. Yeah, he's a Catholic gorilla.
And Fade was responding to the question about being monkeys, and Fade says, "Yes, we are. Give me a banana."
It's funny because at conventions, I would always make sure to have something on the table for people to like snack on. It's always cool to have like a little bowl of candy or something like that. Always had like a little bushel of bananas.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's sweet.
Yeah.
But
So that way, also, I can help people get more potassium into their system.
Oh well, yeah.
Even if they don't buy the book.
Yeah, for sure.
You can always still take a banana.
Did you do really well in selling product at conventions?
Oh my God. Yeah. At the New York Comic Con, we sold out on the second day, right?
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, and I want to say about 350 copies.
Now, were you selling them at the same rates you sold them on the campaign, on the Indiegogo campaign?
No, I was selling floppies of the first 2 issues.
Okay.
Yeah, and we on the second day we ran out of comics. I thought I'd overprinted, but I mean that was like a really powerful vindication for me. I've got that standee behind me. That's actually from the New York Comic Con, and we ruled Independence Alley that year. I want to say it's because we had just like this amazing comic and this like gorgeous banner and all this stuff, but I have to admit part of it probably had something to do with the fact that we had the only book that wasn't about zombies that year.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
yes.
Man.
Yes, because that's when like The Walking Dead was the shit, and every book in Independence Alley was a zombie comic.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like, look at these damn fools. Never, ever, ever play trends, right? Because it's just like, they're like, oh, well, we're going to ride the zombie wave. Yeah, but you know what? That bubble could pop at any freaking moment.
Yeah.
Right? And by the time your book comes out, that bubble could have popped. Now, Adam Post has done really well with College of the Dead, and rightfully so, because Adam's hustle is legendary.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm not saying, like, nobody can do, like, another zombie comic. But at that time, certainly there was a glut of them. And, there weren't a lot of Westerns, and there certainly weren't a lot of Westerns with gorillas. So, I love conventions, man. I was hoping to do some this season, but of course, because of the COVID and everything like that, convention season's been pretty much canceled.
Yep.
I've done the East Coast Comic Con is really good. I've done C2E2, did really well there. That's a convention in Chicago. I've always wanted to do the Phoenix Con. I've always wanted to do some conventions in Texas. People buy stuff there. My friend Preston tells me. Yeah. Basically, that's a place to clean up.
Oh, all right. All right, there you are.
Yeah, so I got this awesome, wicked cool bitchin' trailer. Oh God, I'm trying to remember the fellow's name. It's actually a friend of my artist, Adrian's. Buenos Aires, who I contracted to do the trailer motion capture, and yeah, and that turned out beautiful.
Yeah, we're about to watch that trailer here.
Rock and roll.
Brian Christgau, your book, Six Gun Gorilla, is excellent. Six Gun Gorilla, awesome. Awesome comic book.
We've all heard the stories. We've all heard the legends. Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, Billy the Kid. But there's a secret history to the Old West. One that seems too strange to be true, but, well, we all know what they say about the truth. Very big ape, very big guns, very big holes, very bad people. I think the world is finally ready to hear the story of the strangest, startling Western hero of them all. Six Gun Gorilla, Long Days of Vengeance.
That's a cool cover.
Thanks, man. Thanks. It's turned out beautiful. You did an absolutely bang up job with that. I just did, all I had to do was storyboard it, which was easy because, all I had to do was just take clips, cut and paste from the comic, and draw little arrows like, can you make this thing go that way? Can you make his image suddenly appear through the gun smoke? And
Yeah.
I provided the sound effects. Every gunshot that you hear is from a Sergio Leone Western.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That was for me.
That's cool.
It's like lingerie, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's there.
I love his Western music.
Oh man, yeah. The music is from Forgotten Pistolero, and I checked to make sure it was public domain.
Yeah.
And of course, it's not Ennio Morricone, but it has that Morricone sound to it.
Yeah, it's got that feel, that sound, like you said.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, is it still the one you ended up picking for the intro video? Is it considered public domain or royalty free?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I checked. I checked. I made sure, but I always especially liked the score to that. I think it's by Bruno Nicolai, or was it Louis Bacalov, possibly. Those were like, there were with the Italian westerns, there were basically three composers. It was Morricone, of course, was the giant, and then you had Louis Bacalov and Bruno Nicolai, who were very good at imitating Morricone. Yeah. And of course, the Italians, man, once they were always quick to hop onto a trend, and when the Leone westerns did as well as they did, they just started churning those suckers out. You know, literally hundreds of them.
Man, yeah, I just remember knowing I really dug the music in those westerns.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I mean, of course, the Italian westerns I have a special affection for, but naturally, you know, I love the old ones. I love, you know, John Ford and, you know, The Searchers and Howard Hawks, El Dorado, Rio Bravo. Shane, of course, is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, Shane. Yep, yep.
Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Yeah. If you look at my DVD collection,
Uh-huh.
my DVD Blu-ray collection, it's mostly westerns and horror.
Oh, really?
Yeah, mostly horror and westerns. I would, you know, coming in like a close second.
Yeah, I've got a big old hodgepodge. I've got action adventure. I've got superhero movies. I've got westerns, comedies. Like I've got stuff for like Red Skelton, uh, Jeff Foxworthy. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I have a pretty diverse collection too. I'm just saying, like, those are the genres that dominate, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have a lot of comedies because most comedies I don't find don't make me laugh. For me, if I want to laugh, I'll watch something that's not meant to be funny.
Oh.
You know, like I'll put on like something like a real piece of trash, like Samurai Cop or
Oh gosh, yeah.
or The Room. You know.
Oh man.
Which if you haven't seen it is sublime.
Oh man. I actually have not. I don't know if I have the courage to.
Oh, you have to. You have to.
Really?
Yeah. It's a special experience because it really does live up to its reputation, and you kind of can't believe what you're watching. It's a very immersive experience. Let me put it this way: if Tommy Wiseau, and these are the kind of movies that I'm really fascinated by. Movies that are so horrible, but in such an entertaining way that if they had been made that way on purpose, that creator would be a genius. We would all be like, that dude's a genius. Brilliant work. One of the funniest things ever.
Right.
So yeah, here we're looking at my tears.
Well, I was actually.
Oh yeah, the Kane and White cover. Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, I usually focus on the body of the description of the story and the background and all that good stuff. Yeah, I like it. I like the
Thanks, man.
The bullet shells, the pose with the shotgun, the silhouette. And of course the woman there.
He absolutely killed it with this one, and the colors are by a fellow named Derek Dow, who does really beautiful Western paintings.
Wow, nice.
And hadn't really done any comic book work before.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
But holy crap, man! He did he's colored 4 of my covers. And Kanan did this illustration years ago, and so he'd sort of like done it and forgotten about it. But of course, got to have a look at it, once it's colored and up for the campaign, and he was really, really happy with it, and that made me really happy. Good. Because there's nothing worse for an artist than to take a beautiful work of art that they've created and then just basically crap all over it with shitty colors.
Right. Yeah, you gotta have a colorist who knows what the heck they're doing.
Yeah, and clearly Derek does. So yeah, Kanan was very happy with this, and that made me very happy.
Sweet. Yeah. It is a good cover. I like it a lot.
Beautiful work. Is
this like a weaving or a tapestry of Native American?
That's what it looks like. I've never asked him, but that's certainly what it looks like. Or it could be of Mexican origin or Mexican Indian, possibly. But it fits the piece. I mean, clearly, Kanan knows his composition.
Yeah, it all works together for sure.
Yeah, and then of course the guy is Giuliano Schmidt, who is a Italian German immigrant who's also a Union spy, and then underneath him is Abigail, who is Six Gun Gorilla's sister.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see here. It's Six Gun Gorilla, Long Days of Vengeance, 148-page graphic novel collecting chapters 1 through 6. And what were you saying that the 24-page comic is your style? What you're most comfortable working in?
Yeah.
That kind of sandbox.
Yeah. And it's the format that I grew up with. I think that's probably the main reason, because of course, comic books have been shrinking over the years.
Yeah.
They went from I think, was it when I was a kid, maybe there were 25 pages, then there were 24, and just gradually it got thinner and thinner and thinner. I think now they're 19.
Yeah, it's like they replace actual art pages and story pages with advertisements.
Exactly, and it's so ugly. It takes you out of the book.
Yep.
When you're turning a page and then you were waiting for the story to continue, and there's a big ugly ad, and that's one of the things that's great about the books that folks are getting from indie creators like myself. Is first of all, these are passion projects. These are not cynical books. They're all from the heart. They're all made with a sense of integrity. And also, for what you're paying for these books, you are not going to get any ads. You're getting all killer, no filler.
Nice.
So these are images that we're looking at right now. These are this is from the trade paperback. That's from issue 3. And that's from issue 2.
I just slammed through them.
Yeah, that's a canyon chase from issue 4. Is that great? Is that great?
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Now look at that. Take a guess what medium. This is by Chadwick Haverland. Take a guess what medium this is in that he
White
works
chalk.
No, number 2 pencil.
What?
Yeah. Isn't that insane?
That's number 2 pencil?
That's number 2 pencil.
Shit.
Right? You'd think I think you said white chalk. I was thinking some kind of charcoal or something.
Yeah.
No.
That was going to be one of my other guesses. Charcoal.
No, he does these beautiful photorealistic illustrations with number 2 pencil.
My goodness.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
So how do you get the blacks to be so black?
I have no.
Man.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery to me, man. It's like
cool.
Yeah, it's like sorcery as far as I'm concerned. And there's the cover for the Big GUNDOWN, the latest issue.
Yeah, check that out. Whew.
Yeah, and I should mention that the title of every issue is taken from the title of a Italian Western.
Oh.
Yeah, and so this is called The Big GUNDOWN, after The Big GUNDOWN with Lee Van Cleef, and this lives up to its title. This is the issue where things really, really pop off. In issue number 6, the the good guys got a bit of a drubbing by the bad guys, definitely a bloody nose, and here they strike back with a vengeance, and this has a very high body count. Let me put it that way.
Probably a higher body count than Terminator, the first one.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that kind of stuff is fun. Oh man.
Yeah. Who was it that I was debating? It was like a fellow CG creator. We're like discussing like, well, whose book has a higher body count like per issue? But yeah, no, this is like a this isn't the climax of the story, but it's a climax of sorts. The whole arc is going to be 10 issues. And and so this is the 7th. Three more issues to go.
Now,
but don't wait for them to be finished, folks, because I can't finish the series if you don't back this one.
Sure.
There's of course the sticker design by Mr. Marianelli at 6 a.m. Comics.
So cute.
Is he amazing? My favorite actually is the one he did for Doc Salem, because Doc Salem is like holding like a piece of like severed tentacle.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember that one.
He's fantastic and a really good guy.
So how long have you been hashing out this idea for a comic book, and specifically this story?
I would say 5 years?
Wow.
5 years, 6 years? I want to say 5. It has been that long, and this is one of the few books where once I had the title, the whole story just wrote itself in my head. And that's never happened to me before, and that hasn't happened since.
My gosh.
Where like the whole thing just sort of like emerged like whole cloth. And so it was very easy for me to write.
Did it seem at times like the story was coming out so fast out of your brain that you were having trouble keeping it, documenting the ideas, the key points of the story?
Not so much. You'd think, and that's how then that's happened to me many a time. But it was just sort of there, like I just was like it was waiting there for me to find it, and everything just fit into place. Basically, and I'm surprised at how few people get this. My big secret is that it's Tarzan in reverse. Instead of a human that's raised by apes, it's about an ape that's raised by humans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so, despite the fact that you have launched multiple times before you finally got to this point, did you find it at all challenging or even scary reaching out to creators, artists, people that you could work with to make your project or dream a reality?
At first, not now. It's just like anything else. It gets easier the more you do it, and usually if you approach people in a friendly manner, in good faith, and they believe in the project, and of course you're willing to pay them, they're happy to work with you. Really finding people to work with it for me wasn't the hard part. For me, the hard part was the marketing and getting on YouTube, becoming part of ComicsGate. I lurked for at least like a month or two, because of course I've heard all this bad stuff about ComicsGate, how a bunch of N to the A to the Z to the I's.
Yeah.
And so I hung out and I listened and I waited. I waited for the racist crap. I waited for the homophobic crap. I waited for all that garbage, right? And it didn't come.
Right.
All right. And I was just like, oh, okay. And then I saw what ComicsGate was about, and that's when I decloaked and said, I'm ComicsGate. I'm just, yeah, absolutely. And getting to know people, going on streams, that's something I was very shy about at first. It was actually Clint Stoker, at Sweetcast. I was watching one of his streams, and I was like, well, how should I go about getting on people's streams? And he said, very simple, ask politely. And that's what I did, and he had me on. First person actually to have me on was Antonio Bryce.
Oh.
Of Brand Fame, right?
Which
is illustrated, of course, by the great Kanan White. And he was the first person that reached out to me and asked me on his show. And of course, I was very stiff, like, people buy my comic, but it's really, everybody says it's really good. And so yeah, no, those first few streams were pretty brutal, but at a certain point, you learn to cease to give a shit in a good way.
Yeah.
Right? And you drop the act and you just be yourself, and then it not only becomes easy, it actually becomes fun.
Yeah, sure.
And so it's just like anything else. Anybody that wants to do this, I'm not going to say don't be intimidated, because you can't help but feel intimidated at first. But trust me, there are really, really kind, generous-hearted people out there that are really happy to help you help you out to help you promote your book.
Yeah, for sure.
Such as yourself, sir.
Oh, thank you. That's kind of you.
Hey. Look, kind of you to have me on, kind of you to have all the people on that you're having on.
Yeah, I just think it's a blast promoting these books that I've fallen in love with, books that get me excited about comic books again, because I used to collect comic books back in, I guess, the early 80s, but then I stopped somewhere around mid 80s to late early 90s.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was at a point at which I would go to the comic book shop maybe a couple times a week, or minimum once a week.
Yeah.
And I would arrange to or plan to buy like $40 to $70 worth of comics in a week.
Yeah.
I was into anything from Silver Surfer to West Coast Avengers to Transformers and G.I. Joe to Fathom. I was interested in stuff like Superman and Batman, Wonder Woman and X-Men, but it felt weird coming in so late when you're on issue like 250 to 390, so late in the series.
Yeah, but that's what you do. That's what you would do. You dive in, right?
True.
And now Marvel, every 8 issues they have to have a reboot.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, well, people are gonna be like, what, issue 8? I'm lost. It's just like, what about Journey into Mystery number like 550 or something,
Right.
And we would just dive in, and you'd learn as you'd go. But you
that's true too. But I had like I don't know if it's a mental stigma, but I often thought that if I started this late in the series, then I have to make it a point somehow to be able to afford to, to get all the issues prior to that. So I have a complete collection. I
I
don't
can
know if that,
understand that. I can
I don't know if
understand
that
that.
makes me a completionist or what, but yeah.
Yeah. A completionist would, and that's the thing is, I was never a comic book collector. I was always a comic book reader.
Oh, yeah.
That's to say, when I would buy back issues, it was never as a collector. It was because like we didn't have reprints, we didn't have trade paperbacks
Yeah.
back then, right?
Yep.
So if you missed out on like the Daredevil, Elektra arc, you were shit out of luck unless you went and you got those back issues.
Uh,
Now, of course, I love my trade paperbacks. It's so great being able to just take them off the shelf rather than having to get them out of Mylar snugs and take the boxes out and all that crap. But I also understand why some people love that stuff too.
Sure. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Keeping them in good condition. Yeah. This is some good stuff.
Yeah, my friend Preston, for instance, Preston Acevedo, who did this wonderful illustration, by the way. He's a collector, and I've actually been paying him for the canvas cover in comics. I was like, no, man, no friend discount, none of that crap. It was like, okay, yeah, well, what you got? I'm like, what do you mean what I got? And he's like, what kind of comics you got? I'm like, okay, well, I got, first issue of this. He's just like, you got that? Send me that. And so I've just been shipping him boxes of comics.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I'm happy to do it too, because they're just sitting in my closet collecting dust.
Right.
They're better off in the hands of somebody that's going to love them, cherish them. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that.
Yeah.
Now, one point of clarification I wanted to get is, so it says Doc Salem crossover.
Yes.
So is it legit a book where there is a crossover? These three characters meet.
Yes, it's going to be Preston's Doc Salem with Lit Devils, Doc Alpha,
all right,
and my Six Gun Gorilla.
Huh.
Yeah, it's going to be the way that we're going to do this is each of us is going to write a portion. Then the next writer is going to write the next portion, and it could be a masterpiece. It could be a hot mess. We'll see. I want to get us all I want the whole. I'm anal retentive that way. I want to make sure that the whole thing is kind of plotted first, right? But we'll see.
So you have an outline at least.
Yeah, exactly. Because I always one thing I always want as a writer, I never start a story unless I have my ending.
Right.
Now that doesn't mean I have to stick to that ending. I could always change that, when I come to it. But that keeps me from having to worry about painting myself into a corner.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't follow the example of the Disney Star Wars trilogy.
No, or half of M. Night Shyamalan's movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Or High Tension. That's another one. Can always tell oh yeah, the writer didn't know what to do here.
Yeah. Or J.J. Abrams movies where you never can't seem to do an ending right.
Oh God, it's terrible. Always have your ending first, folks. Always have your ending first.
Man, this is so freaking great. I love the artwork. I love the colors.
Thanks, brother.
And it looks kick-ass with the high-powered weaponry.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Let's look at this intro video again.
Okay.
Let me double-check, make sure there aren't any existing chats I missed. Nope, there isn't. So let's jump over here. catch this video again.
By the way, I didn't get your name.
Christgau.
You were saying?
I was going to say, I didn't get your name.
Wyman.
I'm sorry, could you say it again?
Wyman.
Wyman. Oh,
Yeah.
Pleased to meet you, Wyman.
Likewise. It's
Thanks.
a pleasure.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem at all.
Your book, Six Gun Gorilla, is excellent. Six Gun Gorilla, awesome. Awesome comic.
Awesome comic.
We've all heard the stories. We've all heard the legends. Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, Billy the Kid. But there's a secret history to the Old West. One that seems too strange to be true, but, well, we all know what they say about the truth. Very big ape, very big guns, very big holes, very bad people. I think the world is finally ready to hear the story of the strangest, startling Western hero of them all. Six Gun Gorilla, long days of vengeance.
So
We doggies.
the who did the voiceover?
That was me, like, trying my best Sam Elliott.
That's pretty good, actually.
Thanks, man.
And man, for a moment here and there, it kind of reminded me of Edwin Boyette.
Oh, yeah. Let me do it. Lone Star, heart of the hero.
That was good.
Yeah, I know. It's funny because, of course, I recorded this long before even knowing anything about Methwin, and I'm just like, I listen to it now, I'm like, oh god, that's so Methwin-y. It's just one of those things.
Were you saying that this intro video actually makes use of motion capture?
Of no, not motion capture. Of motion comics.
Motion.
Right? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. There was, I don't know if you've ever seen them before, but there was a Black Panther series that was on BET that took I think it was Reginald Hudlin and John Romita Jr.'s run on the book and kind of animated it like the old Marvel superheroes show from like the 60s, you know, where they would take like the old Jack Kirby, Thor and Hulk and all that stuff and Captain America, and they would like, you know, move them around, you know, they'd like take like you know, they'd take the actual comic books and have the characters like moving around. Have you ever seen those?
All right, I think I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. They're very. You look at them. I mean, they were bizarre back then, but now they're especially trippy.
Yeah. I have to agree there, actually.
Yeah. So those would be like the first motion comics, I suppose.
Right. Let's take a look at these perks here. So as I tell a lot of creators, I love when they have a feature tier. It's like the most bang for your buck.
Yep.
And
that's what this is.
It gives people direction, especially if they're newbies to crowdfunded campaigns. You know, one of the challenges I found with projects like, are you familiar with She, SHI?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah,
And
and yeah, love Billy.
have you seen that crowdfunded that their She Indiegogo?
Yep.
It's got so many different tiers that it's kind of overwhelming. And
Yeah. I tried to keep it simple, you know what I mean? Like the old, like the original McDonald's menu. You know what I mean? Like burger, fries.
That's a good analogy. Because I so badly wanted to back She, but I found myself spending half an hour to an hour trying to figure out all these tiers and figure out what came in what and what exactly I was getting. And I kid you not, I was spending that much time just trying to work on the tiers themselves and make sure I backed what I wanted.
I especially wanted to keep this simple because I knew that there were going to be people that were going to be confused over the fact that, like, okay, well, wait, like, there's like one comic and it's 24 pages, and then there's another one and that's like 148 pages. So I wanted to make it very clear. This is the trade paperback. This is the latest issue. And so you buy them together, I knock $5 off the price, and you get the whole saga up to now. And so for $45, that may seem like a bit steep, but you get 172 pages of comics.
Yeah, which is a steal, actually, when you really think about it.
I think so.
And at this quality to boot. So you got a trade paperback graphic novel, Long Days of Vengeance, issues 1 through 6, plus the latest issue, number 7. So that's a sweet. Look at that, 222. Let me actually refresh and see if it's still 14,645. 341, 14,645. All right, so yeah, this is the most current. And then, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, and then, of course, then there's just the big Gundown, which is issue number 7. So people who bought the trade paperback from the previous campaign, if you just want that, you just want the new shit, the new comic, you can get just that a la carte. And then if you are new to Six Gun Gorilla and you don't want to make the full $45 investment, you can get the trade paperback for $35.
Let's see here. There's the big Gundown, issue 7. Then you got the digital deluxe pack.
Yeah, the big controversy in the crowdfunding community and in CG over whether or not you should have a digital option. I really don't feel that piracy is an issue. I don't think it's something that really affects CG creators or crowdfunding creators because of the fact that our audience is the kind of audience that wants the physical book. At the same time, it's nice to have this option for people who are, say, in Finland and don't want to pay, the $20 shipping.
Yeah.
That's something I hate doing. I know all of my fellow CG creators, we hate having to charge our backers $20 for shipping.
Yep.
One of these days, we're gonna find a way around it. We're working on it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like somebody's gonna crack that nut. We're gonna figure out how to print overseas. Maybe somehow get that price down.
Yeah.
But right now it's just like we have to, or we're gonna get creamed.
Yeah. Shipping costs internationally are insane.
They are.
And,
they are.
One workaround people have used is the digital version of the books. And some people actually prefer the digital. I am very much a physical print person myself.
Me too.
And yes, there is some argument to to piracy, but like you said, the kind of people who follow and back these kinds of campaigns are usually going to go for the print anyway.
Absolutely. And you know what? Anybody who pays me, because here's how I feel about file sharing. I really do feel that file sharing is really no different than when you would get a CD and burn a copy for a friend, that
Yeah.
kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So when you get the PDF from me, it's yours. You can do with it what you like. If you want to make copies for friends, God bless you. I don't have a problem with that. And if anything, it gets the book, it gets more eyes on the book as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, for sure. And another point is, you already covered this, but international backers wanting to avoid the high cost of shipping find this a viable option. I also look at it this way. When it comes to piracy and file sharing, if I use like a website to watch a movie I wouldn't be willing to pay for to see in the theater, because I want to avoid the cost of the admission plus the cost of the popcorn and the candy and the soda that are way jacked up. If I like the finished product, I'm literally going to go out and buy it.
Absolutely.
Even though I originally, interacted with, absorbed the product through non-traditional means.
Absolutely. I'm the same way.
Same goes for music, Same goes for music, same goes for movies.
Yeah, it's a way to help you avoid spending your money on crap.
Yes.
On stuff that you don't like.
Yes, amen. And another thing that people are using as a workaround in crowdfunding campaigns, which I personally prefer over digital as an option, is offering multi-book packages in their tiers. So let's say you do a 2-pack of your the book you're selling, or a 4-pack, something, a multi-pack, period.
Right.
And that way you can argue, all right, so for the same shipping cost, since let's say you're going to do a 4-pack, I can fit 4 of these in, say, a Gemini mailer. Then you're only going to pay the shipping cost once. You can make an arrangement with you and your closest friends and say, hey, let's all get the same book. We'll each get our own copy. We'll split the shipping cost 4 ways. And that's an option I really like.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a workaround.
Absolutely. And the more options that we can offer backers, the better, I think.
Yeah, but you just don't want to get carried away and have all kinds of crazy.
No, but like I said, I really don't think that's an issue. Like, for instance, you look at variant covers, right? I'm not a variant cover guy. I just want the book, right? But look at how many CG backers want those variant covers. They love them, right? Yeah. And so by putting out variant covers, we're not, double dipping or something like that. They're asking for this stuff.
Yes.
So,
So demand for it.
Exactly. And you want to give the customer what they want, and you want them to be happy with what they're getting from you.
Oh yeah, sure.
And the whole beauty of the system too is that really we're operating on the honor system. Strangers, we're asking strangers to give us their money, and in hopes that we will live up to our side of the bargain and send them their books.
Exactly.
And this is the second campaign that I'm fulfilling on. So, folks, you're getting your books. I'm not going to pull a Critias on you.
Right, exactly.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. And then, as you were highlighting previously, you've got the graphic novel at 35, which contains issues 1 through 6. Now with an alternate cover by Kenan White.
Yep. And it's 148 pages. So you're getting a lot of comic for your buck, folks.
And let me check something real quick. All right, so there's that. That contains the Kenan White cover, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's got the content of this first 6 books, and then you get the number 7 issue.
Yeah. Oh, and I should also mention that all books come signed.
Nice.
Unless you don't want it signed, which.
I like them signed personally, but I can't always afford to buy the tiers that include the signature. Part of it is. Oh, go ahead. Part of it is also there are so many campaigns I want to back that I got to spread my money everywhere.
Oh God, it's terrible, man. I mean, it's terrible and it's wonderful. It's terrible because I can't back as many campaigns as I'd like. Yeah. But my God, there's so many good books coming out right now. And you know what? I've been getting comics in the mail. I've been getting CG books in the mail like crazy lately. And you know what? It's fun getting comics in the mail.
It is.
It's so cool. Got my buddies, Preston's Rockabilly Road Trip, which is fantastic. Got my man Drew's Captain Love. He gets those out to you fast, and I'm talking like 3 days. Let's see.
That's fast.
Got the Merry Boys.
Oh yeah, I got Merry Boys too. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I like that artwork.
Oh my God! You want to know something? In my opinion, right now, best CG comic.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Sweet.
It's my I'll say it's my favorite so far. Rob Muerto, from Portugal, Tales from the Classroom. This is like much bigger than I thought it would be, and it's like a double issue. Phil, say Comics.
Magic
Cop. Vinny the Boner King, Hail the Boner King. Nice hardcover.
Yeah, I did receive that one. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and these are great books. These are passion projects.
Sure, yeah.
I look at the days when I used to go to the comic book store and, like you said, blow like $70 or something like that. It's, we're getting something that's 100 times better than anything that's on the racks right now.
Yeah,
because we didn't abandon comics. Comics abandoned us.
Yep. Yeah, it literally renewed. ComicsGate renewed my interest and passion for comics.
And that's a beautiful thing.
I had not really actively purchased any comics for like 30 years.
Wow.
And then ComicsGate comes around, and I got into it around, I want to say September, October of 2019.
Wow.
And
that's a long break.
And then, bam, one after another, I started seeing one exciting book after the next. And interestingly enough, I didn't hear about your book, I think, until Cecil mentioned it. Yeah, Cecil and EVS.
Yeah, he's a fan.
Yeah, but Cecil specifically, he would talk about, having to make trips to his P.O. box. And it seemed like every time he mentioned the trip to the P.O. box, he mentioned Six Gun Gorilla.
Interesting.
And it was like, he really likes the book.
Loves it.
That there's something to be said about that. So, I knew I had to back it. So I have backed it. I'm thinking about backing it again.
Thanks, brother.
I tend to be, for certain projects, I tend to be a repeat backer because I see a lot of value. I see new additions that I'm also interested in. So yeah, I dig it.
Thanks, man. Great. I appreciate you and every backer. That's the other thing too. We don't treat our backers like garbage.
Right.
Right? We're not going to tell you to go F yourself. We're genuinely grateful for your business, you know? Because my God, you know, and with all the drama that's going on, you know, in ComicsGate right now, we need to focus on what a wonderful thing it is we're making comics, man. That's awesome. It's a childhood dream come true.
Yeah.
And folks like you make it possible for us to make these books, and we are intensely grateful. And the ones who aren't intensely grateful can go F themselves, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what's also exciting is the fact that you got people are excited about comics again, and it's no longer a game between DC and Marvel. It's about homegrown creators and ex-comic book pros.
Yep.
And that has also made way to stirring up the creative juices in people who are passionate about comics. And you've got these new creators coming out of the woodwork now.
I know.
It's so exciting.
Like I said, the fact that, you know, that we're inspiring other people to like throw their hat into the game.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Grade Point 5 peeps. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Right? They're killing it with Peregrine right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so proud of those folks. That's, you know, that might, you know, that never would have happened if CG had never happened, if they hadn't seen all these other people doing it, you know, and then I'm looking forward to the people that we have yet to meet. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the people that are coming up behind us. And that's why I also feel that, as somebody that's had 2 successful campaigns, you know, I feel like it's my moral duty to help those folks in any way I can. So anybody that wants to launch a campaign, hit me up any old time. I'll try to introduce you to the right folks and make it happen. Like I said, of course, you never know if your campaign's going to be successful or not, because you don't know if your book is going to be any good or not, or if it's going to take off or connect with people. But you can at least get that shot.
Yeah.
And that's all that any of us ever asked for, is to have our shot. Yeah. And the mainstream said no, and ComicsGate said yes.
Yep. You got it. I'm one of those in the fan base who is wanting to make a move to become a creator. I just have to get back into practice with my drawing skills. And,
you're an artist.
I like to say I am, but I'm so out of practice. I'm so out of practice now. But if you check out some of my other streams, you'll see some of my sketches and drawings that I have.
Well, let me just stop you there real quick. You realize that there are people, also artists, that will be happy to help you too.
Oh yeah.
Like my man Preston is always saying, like, to people, like, hey, if this is something that you really want to pursue, you feel like your work's like a little shaky or something like that, hit me up. I'll give you some pointers. That's the other thing that CG is. It's this resource.
Yeah.
It's a creator's resource.
Yeah, it's a big network.
It's a big network. It's a big family.
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, if you want to throw your hat in the ring, brother, go for it.
Yeah, it's like I guess a little background. So, you know how you might have a passion for drawing or writing or something, and you get some, attaboys from your parents and relatives when you're growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But then life kind of hits you and says, all right, get yourself a job that's going to be stable and reliable.
Sure.
You'll earn money in, and save your quote unquote passion for a hobby until you've had a career for 10, 20 years.
Right.
That's kind of been my situation. That's why I got into computers, and I've been in the IT industry for 17 years. But I started drawing around 8 or 10, something like that. And I've been sitting on ideas that I wanted to flesh out and work on for probably 30 years. So I've kind of narrowed it down to 2 properties. One is kind of like comic strip style.
Okay.
Which is along the lines of Calvin and Hobbes, Garfield, Peanuts.
Uh-huh.
And then I've got another IP that I want to pursue, which is like typical or traditional superheroine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to work on both of those simultaneously.
Okay.
Multitasking, and so
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
And then the other thing is, you see on Twitter in the promotions and in the YouTube streams how people are saying, I'm holding a contest. Show me some of your fan art, and whoever wins gets such and such as a prize. And your work might be published in my fan arts section of my book. So I want to participate in those as well. Try my hand there.
Dude, no reason not to.
Yeah, I just have to make the time to do it.
and also have a thick skin.
Yeah.
That's to say, and try not to get discouraged if the response to your work isn't what you would like.
Yeah.
You have to put the main thing is anybody you want to write, you want to illustrate, you want to play the guitar, whatever, you have to put in the work, and you have to put it. You have to put in the time, and be prepared to suck at first.
Yep.
And I look at my old writing, and some of it I have some affection for, but the vast majority of it makes me cringe. And it's only I've been writing for 30 years, and I only feel like right now am I starting to get only right now is my work starting to get to a professional level. So I'm not saying work for 30 years, write for 30 years, and then give it a shot.
Yeah.
And you do have people like Paul Schrader. His very first screenplay was Taxi Driver.
Oh gosh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Dude. First time at base, boom, home run.
Dang.
Yeah, but that's the exception to the rule.
Right. Yeah, of course.
But yeah, dude, by all means, go for it. Try a little bit of both. Maybe put them out there and see what people respond to.
Right.
But also make sure that it's coming from your heart, that it's something that you're passionate about. Because if you're passionate, about what you're creating, that's gonna leap off the page and into the reader.
Absolutely. Yeah, because if you don't have the passion for the project, then it just feels like work. And
Exactly.
work is just humdrum, robotic, go through the motions, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Why do you think George Perez quit doing comics? Right? One of like the legends, one of like the icons, one of the greatest living artists. And he's just like, yeah, I think I'm done. Because look at the shit that Marvel and DC are producing.
Yeah.
You know?
You're just there to churn out product, and
yeah, we're making comic books. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, but part of their problem is they're making other people. They're doing other people's characters instead of their own, and they aren't the ones getting the lucrative results. It's the big companies like Marvel and DC who are benefiting.
Absolutely.
So,
and that's why more of them need to come here.
Yeah.
Join us.
No.
Join us, George Perez.
Join us now.
And you know what? And you know what? The people in the mainstream right now, they're getting creamed. It's pencils down. And a lot of the people that are, that have called us N to the A to the Z to the I's, expect them to come knocking sometime soon. Hey, sorry about the time I called you a Nazi. Can I come in and hang out with you guys?
The funny thing about it is the whole pencils down idea. If there's any time better to get a lot of work done, it's during the pandemic.
Oh my God.
Because that's one of the few industries you could actually easily do from home.
Yes.
It's like, what the hell are they thinking? Sure, you can't distribute, but
look,
while you're waiting to distribute, you could be creating.
Exactly. Building up an inventory.
Yeah. And then once the pandemic's over, bam, you flood the market with all this awesome stuff.
But you know what? Cecil said it the best. They blew it. They blew it. They were handed the greatest opportunity ever with the success of the Marvel movies and all the comic book movies in general, right? And I don't think that the comic book movies were ever going to get new readers to read comics. I really don't. Unless, of course, you had you put them in supermarkets, checkouts, right? Newsprint, cheap. You know what I mean? Mommy, can I have that? Oh, Captain America? Yeah, sure. Right? If it's nice and affordable, if it's not like, $5.
Sure.
Right? For like a 20-page comic.
Yep.
But, you were going to have old fans come back and go, gee, I wonder what Tony Stark's up to. And then they pick up Iron Man. It's just like, who the fuck is Riri Williams?
I know.
And then with every character, what? Doris had a sex change?
Yeah.
They blew it. They blew it.
There was that major disconnect. Yeah, exactly. They got a flood of popularity with the MCU movies, but they're publishing books that are out of character. They're not in sync with the movies. So
and nobody wants to read that shit. Even SJWs don't want to read that shit.
Yeah, they spout it, virtue signaling,
and then they don't back it up.
Yep.
It's like, assholes. You demanded this. Now you have to show up and support it. Instead, they just they've got their placards up. We want this. Oh, we're making demands, and we're going to put you on blast on Twitter. And then it's just like, okay, here you go. And then they're just like, well, we don't want it. We just want it to be there. I showed. Oh God, no, and you know what? Nobody's going to want to read these comics in the future either. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like they're producing toilet paper.
Yeah.
And man, I showed a copy of America Chavez, issue number 1, to a friend of mine. Brother, have you read that?
No, I haven't had the courage to.
Yeah, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself.
Oh, you know what I heard about it?
Yeah.
I heard that part of her origin story is that she was created in like outer space, created out of 2 female beings who were, I guess, lesbians.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't know.
Dude, there's a cringe on every page. I'm not kidding. There's a cringe on every page. I showed it to like a millennial friend of mine, right?
Yeah.
Now he being a millennial, he doesn't read American comics. He reads Japanese comics. He reads manga.
Yeah.
Right? Manga outsells American comics 10-1 in the United States.
Oh yeah.
Right? And so, you know, I gave it to him and had him read it. I was like, dude, brother, just sit down and just read that and just tell me what you think. And he was cracking up, going through every page. And then he hands it back to me, and I'm like, what did you think? He was like, oh, it's friggin' hilarious. He didn't realize that it wasn't a parody. He thought it was a parody of an FJW comic. He didn't realize that it was completely serious.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man. So,
oh jeez.
Yeah, you owe it to yourself. Check that shit out.
Oh gosh.
I'm not saying pay for it, but.
Oh my gosh. All right. So this has been a blast.
Most definitely. Thank you so much for having me on, man.
Let me ask you a real quick question, but I have to wrap it up.
Absolutely. Dude, you need some rest.
Do you have plans to, since you're still in demand, do you have plans on adding any more perks?
I've contemplated it. George Peter Gatsis, the legendary Blue Muppet, is working on a sculpture.
Like a 3D model. I mean, like.
It's on his 3D printer. He's gonna. Yeah. So like the one that he made for Sweens for Oddity.
All right.
He's making one for Six Gun Gorilla, and I posted the video on my channel. And he's so next level, it's ridiculous. He's designing it so that you can pull the arms off. They're connected by magnets, like the old Micronauts, right? So you can pull the arms off and like replace the 6 guns with a Gatling gun.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
And all the parts, like the hat and the poncho, come off so you can paint those. Like,
oh my gosh!
Separately.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah, so that I don't know if that's going to be for this campaign or the next one, because issue number 8, which is going to be called Cemetery Without Crosses, is hopefully going to come out this year. I want to get this to a point where it's quarterly. If that's possible.
I mean, I kind of think that it would work well on this campaign. And then maybe do a different 3D model on the next campaign.
We'll see.
Highlighting maybe the big bad. And then I was also wondering if it would make sense to maybe, you know how people are doing all these fancy covers. The one that comes to mind is Chromium, but there are these other types of covers like the ones that Vestige did. But
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of Commie Mark's Not Chromium cover.
Oh, I know. I was thinking of getting that. To be honest. I know.
Oh, Commie Mark is a pisser. Hail CG UK.
Yeah.
I'm looking for my copy of Vestige. Yeah, with the embossed, like the choker and the gun and everything.
That's a neat look. But I was wondering if you'd consider a leather-clad.
Oh man, you're a genius, sir. Rawhide.
That would be interesting. That would be pretty sweet.
Or if you look at this cover, right, like
have it on the side of the saddlebags.
Like, do you see how that?
Yeah. I forget what the name of that effect is.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but yeah,
I'm starting to get jealous because all my fellow CG creators are doing like really cool stuff with their covers. I'm like, damn, I got to do something cool with my cover.
now.
But that's the thing. We're like making step each other's game up. So
Yeah, absolutely. And then you got that standee behind you. Are you offering that as part of a perk? Or
on
is
the
that
on the previous campaign, I offered that and the big old banner that I
Okay.
have from the convention and a bunch of other stuff, including the prototype.
Oh my gosh, you have a prototype. Whoa.
6-gun gorilla action figure.
Oh my gosh, you got an action figure already? Shit.
Yeah. So it's a real eye catcher at conventions, and I think I set the price for like $1,000 for all this crap, all my convention crap. I was like, and I was like, and I was like, you're out of your mind
Let me guess, it sold
if you
fast.
buy this. What was that?
Let me guess, it sold fast, right?
No, nobody grabbed it.
Really?
Nobody was that stupid.
I'm surprised. Because those are like tchotchkes, you know.
I know.
If you can't make it to the convention, then those would be cool finds, you know.
Yeah, well, I've got some signed prints and stuff like that. Other stuff I could potentially add as stretch goals. I got stuff.
Right. Well,
You know?
that's cool. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So I want to thank you once again for coming on my channel.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for having me, and thank you for platforming other CG creators.
Oh hell yeah! By all means, it's a blast. It's a passion, and I enjoy doing it, man. Tell everyone how they can reach you.
Oh, you can reach me. I'm on the Twitter at Brian Christgau. One word. All small case. And you can also reach me. My email is Brianator, BRIANATOR @optonline.net. But Twitter is the easiest way to reach me.
Cool. Right on.
Yeah.
And, I showed the book once again. So definitely back this worthy book. It's freaking cool.
Thank you, sir.
Definitely do it. And you can find me at WyzGyz Tweets. And I'm always talking about pop culture, movies, franchises, all that good stuff, comic books. I spend a lot of time on comic books as of late, but I'm trying to balance myself more and do equal parts CG and equal parts F.A.M.I.L.Y. ComicsGate and Phantom Menace. Thank you all for joining us. I appreciate it. Keep on liking, commenting, and subscribing. And also, do you have a YouTube channel as well?
Oh, I do have a YouTube channel, don't I? Yes, I do.
What is yours?
I don't know. Let me check real quick. Yeah, I've been slacking. My YouTube game is not what it should be. Let's see. What is it? It's Brian Christgau.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to keep it simple. I doxed myself right out of the gate.
Cool deal.
Yeah. So yeah, and I do horror movie reviews also on Monday nights. My friend Drew Ish, the guy who does Captain Love, does the two of us do a show called Horror Talk, which is on Mondays at 8 p.m. Yeah. And then on Tuesdays we do Indie Comics Focus, where we usually have a indie comic creator on.
Do you? Let me see. Are you familiar with Jeff Hicks from World Class Bullshitters?
Yeah.
If you haven't, you might want to do a stream with him and talk horror.
I'd love to.
Because he goes to the Horror Hound Expo with the World Class Bullshitters team.
Oh man, I haven't had the pleasure but I am a fan, and I am familiar with him.
Yeah, and if you happen to want to talk Silence of the Lambs,
Yeah.
reach out to Anna, aka that Star Wars girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah, that's her favorite film of all time, or favorite horror film. She's not big into horror, but
yeah,
she really loves that movie.
Yeah, it's funny because I always get into like debates with people. It's not a horror movie; it's a thriller. I'm like, it's a fucking horror movie.
Right.
You know? It's all about all about tone as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on, and
thank you for having me.
See you, Fate Salvation. Thank you for everyone who joined the chat. Please like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you watch this on replay. And everybody take care. Be safe out there.
Peace, love, and soul. CG for life.